Alright, now first round's going to be initiative phase. Now, this first map, I'm going to actually pause and take a lot of time to explain the phases. Going forward, I'm going to rush through these a little bit quicker. Otherwise, we'll be here all day if I have to explain it every single time. But here in the initiative phase, now I'm using a special rule here, but normally I would roll and the princess bot would roll, or whoever I'm playing against would roll, and that would be our initiative. Then we go in initiative order. Like if I won the initiative, they would put down a mech, and then I would put down a mech. In this case, this is the deployment phase. This is also true of actually just when you every round you'll do this again, and this is the round you move. Like they would move, then I would move. Now, a special rule I'm using here is every single unit has its own individual role, and that is kind of showing us where they go. So, you know, some of these you can see here where the Stinger, Wasp, Valkyrie, and the coolant truck, they're all kind of clumped together, and I have to like deploy, or if this is the movement phase, I'd have to move all of these at the same time. That's a little bit different because normally you alternate, but in this way it's a little bit less gamey, I think, when we do it this way. It's not really clear. The weather is not clear. And I think I'm not sure what decides it. I guess the bot wins ties. I don't know. But there it is. Hi, I'm bot client. Hi, bot client. Okay, first the deployment phase. And you're going to see that we are in a city. We've got several lines of avenue of travel here that go straight up, go straight to where we need to go. Here, she should already put a Vedetti down. Now, these are buildings. I could technically put myself down on buildings. Most of this terrain is 0 hexes. As you can see here, hex. This is the hex number. It says level 0. Then road 150. That 150 means if I deal 150 points of damage to this tile, I would destroy that road. Same with these buildings. These buildings have a CF value, which is a construction factor. Now, the hardened structures, I don't remember exactly what that means. They're hardened. I think they might take less damage, but it's a height 9 building. Now, mechs are considered at their head a height 2. So if like I was behind a height 1 like object, a building or hill or whatever, my upper torso would still be sticking up, and that's considered partial cover. But it also like changes your hit detection, which we'll go over when we actually get to the firing stages. But this building is nice. It's a skyrise right next to us here. We don't know what kind of basement it has. It has no armor. It has a construction value of 114. Now, that construction factor means two things. One, the tonnage of my mech has to be over 114. There's special case mechs that are actually over 100 tons, but assuming that these construction values can change by building to building, and also if you shoot a building, whatever damage you do lowers the construction value by that amount. So if I do 10 points of damage to the building, it would now have 104. So that's a way you can destroy a building, or if like someone's standing on it, you might be able to weaken it enough to where it falls over and they fall down. In this case, it's a 9-story building, so if someone actually did manage to make that fall while I was on top of it, I would fall 9 stories and take nine stories of fall damage, which is a lot. It would kill most of the mechs I have with me here. But most of my mech, like this Blackjack, is a 45 ton. I could set it up on top of this building to start, which I'm going to do. I can choose which floor. I just want it on the roof. There we go. She can't get down from there, right? Actually, I better check to make sure she can't get down. Let's just put her on the ground for now. No need to get fancy. It's just a Blackjack. And she's going to be our slowest one. She's got to jump up 4, which I'll explain. Alright, I got a Stinger here. I'm going to try to keep them all over here on these lines. Okay, got another Stinger. Okay, here's our liaison guy. I'm going to put him back here. Yeah. And then our Valkyrie I'll put over here. And our coolant truck I'll put over here to be a distraction. Okay. And okay, we get a new initiative round. This starts our turn. We move some of our dudes. She's going to move all of her tanks. Then we kind of get a little bit of initiative here at the end. Okay, now here's the problem. We're in the movement phase. Normally, you have a walk. Let me get this in range here. You have a walk, run, and jump, and things that have jump jets have a jump range speed. Normally, like if I wanted to move from this hex to this hex, it would cost me 1 movement point. This is how many movement points you get to be considered walking. Now, walking generates 1 heat, and also your attacks take a +1 penalty to hit. Running is a +2 penalty hit and generates 2 heat. Jumping is a +3 penalty to hit for you, not them, for you. And it also generates at least 3 heat, or however many hexes you traveled, whichever is higher. So if you jump 1 hex, it's still 3 heat, but if you jump 6 hexes, it's 6 heat. Now, for them shooting you, there's certain ranges of motions, and it's by hexes moved. So if I move, I think 2 hexes, they get a +1. Shit me, if I move like 4 or 5, I don't remember the exact numbers off the top of my head, it's like a +2, and so on and so forth. The farther you can move in 1 turn, the more harder it is for people to hit you. That is the advantage of a light mech, or any fast mech, because normally a fast mech is weakened, and usually in the armor and also armament sections. Now, why this is a problem with this particular mech, and why I was sweating it so hard. In a moonless night, there is a +3 modifier to hit, just on top of everything. Also, it takes 3 extra movement points to move into a hex. Also, the fog. In a heavy fog, it takes 2 extra movement points to move into a square. I think I said that. No, it's 2 for moonless night and 2 for heavy fog. And also, energy weapons take a +1 penalty to hit. So what does that mean? It means I can only move, by normal means, 1 hex a turn. That will get a light mech killed. Even though we're just breaking through, and they're suffering the same penalties. The reason being, I guess, is you have to be careful as you walk around, and there's supposedly rules that allow me to be reckless. Yeah, reckless mode, which would change that. See there? But I would have to take every hex moved. I would have to do a roll to see if I fall over. We're not doing that. I hope I can turn that off. I want to be careful. Where's careful driving? Oh well. We may lose a mech from my demonstration. The way around this is jumping. Jumping does not suffer the penalty. Why can she not go there? Because that's a height building. Okay, with jump jets, this is worth explaining too. Jump jets can jump over terrain. Normally, you can only, if I was trying to walk somewhere, I can only go up 1 height level per hex. Now, jump jets can go over stuff, and it can land on top of stuff, with the height value difference being the value of your jump jet. So I can jump up onto a height 6 building, for instance, which is why this building up here is height 8. I cannot from the ground get there. Now, if I went to this height 2 building, I could then jump up there. But that's the way jump jets work. But this is going to go a heck of a lot faster. And it's not just easier to do this mission because of this, but it's also just going to be faster. Trying to go from the bottom of a 50 hex map to the top is going to take 50 turns. All the while, the enemy's going to be sitting there trying to shoot you when you're basically not moving. And while granted, they're going to have 11s and 10, 10, 11, 12 to hit, they're going to get you hits. And these are light mechs; they can't take hits. We're still going to be in danger. I mean, this isn't going to be a walk in the park. I'm going to show you their mech. What they've got is this Maxim heavy transport. They got 2 of these actually. The weapon systems on that is LRMs, 2 LRMs, a bunch of SRMs, 3 LRMs actually, some machine guns, and another SRM-6. They got missiles out to wazoo, some of them long-range ones. And up here we've got the which one is this? This is the Drillson heavy tank, LRMs, SRM-2s, a large laser, and the Vedetti I know just has an AC-5 and some machine guns. It's one of the few I actually know. Yep. So they've got some ranged weapons with which to shoot us, but they are firing at penalties, and they're going to be firing at some extreme penalties because we're going to be jumping around. Sorry. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. I'm going to start my turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He should be able to jump 6. There he goes. Now after this, if I wanted to push this turn button, I can make him turn a different direction. I don't want to do it right now, but if you want to make him turn a certain facing after he jumps, that's another advantage of the jumping is you can turn freely. Wherever you land, you can be facing whatever direction you want. To do that, you push the turn button and basically click the hex you want to face. But for now, we're just going to go straight forward. Once you set your movement, you click done. It moves it, and it goes on to the next turn. In this case, my wasp is going to go. I'm going to have him do basically the same thing. Now, if I go more, it will just go to wherever I can go. Like if I wanted to click way up here, it'll still try to. It'll show you the number you need to get there, but it will only go that far. Now, if you do that, and you're wanting to then use the turn button, it isn't going to work because what you're telling it to do is say I want to go all the way up here, then turn. Well, you can't even get up there, so it'll never actually get to the point where it turns you. So if you make a mistake, push the backspace button, and you'll see by one they go away. And that way, there's the 6. Which direction do I want to turn? But I'm not going to turn them. We're just going to jump up as far as we can. This is a 5.85, so she can't jump quite as far. Is a heavier mech though. Picture looks a lot like a wasp as well. If anybody's familiar with a picture, if anybody is curious as to what these look like, you can look them up on Sarna. And I might throw up some pictures here as we go along. Let's see here, Blackjack. Now the Blackjack, she's going to be the one that slows us down the most. Unfortunately, oops, can't get up there. We'll just go there. She's also got quite a few armaments on her. And now the truck. The truck can't hardly move. He can move 1 a turn. So he's just going to be trudging through the night. I could go reckless on him, but he'll just die. There's no sense in it. Okay, now we're in the weapon firing phase. I think I could technically try to shoot this guy. He's in range, but you can see the target number of to hit is 15. You might not be able to see it, actually. Here you go. Target number is to hit is 15. The way this is determined is your gunnery skill, in this case her gunnery skill is 4, plus 3 for the moonless night, plus 1 because it's heavy fog and I'm using a laser weapon. It's long range, which means plus 4, and I jumped, so it's plus 3. It's because he jumped, he's in a tank. We're actually a hovercraft, but because I jumped, it's also an additional plus. So if I had not jumped, if I had just stood still, I would have a 12 to hit, which is actually possible to roll because this roll is a 2d6. Now the long range, you have the range of your weapons here. This is in hexes. So short range has no penalty at all, is 1 to 3. Medium range has a plus 2 to hit, which is 4 to 6 hexes from your distance. And then long range is 7 to 9. I think it says here our range stat is 7. So it's long range. That's giving us the additional plus 2, which even if I was at medium range, I couldn't hit this thing. So, but he didn't move hardly at all, possibly because he can't. Remember, they're suffering the same penalty that truck is facing. So he can't fire. I know he ain't able to fire. Let's see. No. Now see, this is considered medium range with these LRMs. But this is, like I said, she's only getting that plus 2, but it's still not enough. They're getting some attacks in on us. You can hover over the line to see what they need. They're firing LRM 5s. They need 11s to hit, and they're also firing at this truck here with the same deal. Okay, this is the other Stinger. I know he ain't gonna be able to do anything. I doubt she's going to be able to. She probably can't even see anything. See, these buildings are actually blocking our view, so yeah. And the truck just has some flamers, which only go out to 3. I don't understand why coolant trucks have flamers. That's kind of counter to what you would think they would have. Okay, now it's physical attack phase. This is one of the annoying things about fighting in a city. Technically, I can punch this building, so the game doesn't assume that I don't want to do it, which is good on the game. You know, it would be irritating if it just skipped it because you know, well, who would want to punch a building? Well, you might want to. Like I mentioned, someone might be standing on it, and you might want to try to collapse that building. But we're going to have to like basically go through all these guys. Say no, I do not want to punch the building. Okay, now we get to the heat phase. Heat phase, all the heat we generated, like I mentioned with the movement, but also firing weapons generates heat, and you have heat sinks which dissipate that heat. So basically, in one turn, if you generate more heat than you have heat sinks, you build up heat, which would be over here. And when you start building up heat, you start taking penalties at 5 positive heat. You can generate a little bit of heat, like up to 4 with no penalty, but you start taking penalties to movement. You slow down. It makes your targeting computer starts to fry. It makes it harder for you to shoot stuff. You have a chance that your ammunition will just spontaneously combust from the heat. You have a chance that your mech will just shut down to cool itself off. And also, I think the other one is there's a chance your pilot could get hurt, but only if the life support system in the mech isn't working, which is very rare. Let's go ahead and continue on. And that should end the phase. And we go to another initiative round. There is technically an end phase where stuff can happen, but it automatically skips that if there is nothing there. Okay, here's the new initiative. And basically, you're going to see, until we're actually within good range, you're just going to see me just hop, skip, and jump up as far as I can go. Can I get up to there? What is that? That's a CF-130 building at height 1, so it's not very tall. I might still be able to get on top of it, though. What about that one? That one is a height 2. Yeah, let's go and jump up on... Oh, construction factor 96, so yeah, I should be alright. These guys don't need to get too fancy because nobody can get to them yet. Whoops. There it is. Whoops. There we go. We'll get there in the end. The coolant truck will move his one. Right now I'm just hoping a couple of guys focus on him and let us run past. Like, so far that hover transport, all he can really do is fire at the... Now we have to jump. If we jump, we're only moving one, and we're just going to take forever. Oops, something happened. One of the maximum heavy transporters tried to move into a heavy building. Makes a piloting skill check, and he fails, so he did some damage to his front end. He still goes into that hex, which the reason they do that is they start getting cover, because they're inside the building and they start shooting out of the building. But in this case, he took some heavy damage to his movement system, so he's moving at half movement points and has a +3 to all his driving rolls from here on out. It's this guy here. He just crashed right into that building trying to shoot us. I don't know that I can actually shoot him. Yeah, I could try. Might as well. Okay. Now, so here you see the heat on the damage. This is the amount of damage the weapon does. This is the heat generated. Machine guns generate no heat. The medium laser generates 3 heat and does 5 damage. Now you'll notice the target number down here is higher for the medium laser. The reason being is the medium laser has this +1 because of the heavy fog, whereas the machine guns do not. It's all short range. I'm going to go ahead and fire everything because there's no way that's going to... Stingers can't generate heat unless they start taking damage. It's like heat sinks or their engine. I am targeting the right thing. Yep. Okay. Wasp. I doubt he could carry anything. No. Blocked by terrain. Basically, this building's blocking my direction to him. I doubt she could either. Yeah. Blocked by terrain. He's not in range of anything. I don't know that he... She might... Nope, blocked by terrain. So you have to pretty much be right on top of them to be able to shoot them. But also this building's kind of blocking the way too. And that blackjack's out of range of everything. Alright. Here we can see I hit him with the medium laser. But the building absorbed the damage. See, this is why they dive into that. It looks stupid, especially when like a Savannah Master, which has no armor, does it and kills itself. But this is why they do it. Technically, mechs could do this too. I never do, but you know. Okay, looks like the coolant guy took some damage to to the LRM. Let's see. This guy also fired at the other. That hover tank that's in the building fired at the Stinger. Managed to hit the leg with a machine gun. Did a couple points of damage. Now, like I said, Stingers do not have a whole heck of a lot of armor. So that's even just 2 points. That's a big deal. Melee phase. I don't think we can melee anything worthwhile. Yeah.